Hi, Rayne. How you doing? All right, I got your work up here. Let's get it in the window there. That looks just about perfect. I want to jump over and let's see. Change my poster by adding shading and a few more things. I got feedback. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll jump right over and take a look. Okay, so we've got Coney Dogs, best in Detroit. Okay, so good progress. Really good job attempting your shadow and highlights in this illustration here. I think that's good. Right now, I think there's a couple of issues with the poster. And the main thing I think is two things: consistency and focal point. I say consistency for this reason. Right now, you've added these kind of shadow areas, but they're not consistent because of the fact that you have duplicated this um, and kind of mirrored it. So what this is indicating is multiple light sources, and the light sources aren't carried through to this portion of the illustration. So let me tell you what I mean, for example. Okay, so if this were the original hot dog, right, and you created this shadow area right here, and one thing I want to mention about the shadow area is right now the shadow area isn't conforming to the contours of the shape of the bun itself. Okay, so instead of having just a straight black a dark line across here, it would kind of conform and kind of curve a little bit towards that. And I think that that would help as well. Also, when I say inconsistency, so this is indicating a light source of right up here, right? So you've got the shadow indicating that this is the light area, and as we move down the bun, it's falling into the shadow, right? And that's great. However, if that were the light source, there wouldn't be a shadow right up here. That would be light as it's sitting in direct line of the light. There would be shadows, little shadow areas around the edges, okay, but not that big shadow right there. Again, while duplicating this piece and changing its angle, you're adding the implication that there's another light source. All right, this light source on this illustration would be up here. The light source on this illustration would be up here. So another thing that duplicating the hot dog does is it diminishes the focal point, because now instead of one main hot dog to look at, now we've got one, two, three hot dogs to look at. Do you see what I'm saying? So moving forward, I would recommend establishing one firm solid focal point, establishing one or more light sources, but be consistent in those light sources in any other illustration, specifically when they're located so close in proximity. I don't think you need this big hot dog on the bottom. I really think the configuration before with the hot dog, with the starburst, I think that indicates all you need. I don't think you need this second. So Coney dogs, the best in Detroit, with just the starburst with the illustration. The illustration, I would like to see it embellished a little bit more. So for example, you've got your ketchup, you've got your onions. Can we get a little squiggly line of mustard in there? I think also to show more of the hot dog itself, I would just show more of that weenie itself right there, and pull this bun down so we can see more of the weenie. That way we can see the mustard once we add it. Does that make sense? Okay, and again, watch your typography. Remember the type requirements here. There's the requirements plus the addition of one additional typeface that you're going to use for display or headline purposes. But what we have here is three different typefaces. We've got this typeface, we've got this copperplate, and then we've got this decorative typeface. So I would recommend that if you're going to use Coney dogs, keep it in the same typeface because it's the same subject. There's no reason to change Coney dogs to typeface. It's kind of like changing typeface midstream. It's going to cause more confusion than it is going to create consistency. So my recommendation is to either choose this face, maybe choose this face. I think it's fun. Take this face and also use Coney in that face. I do not recommend stroking typefaces. I do not recommend stroking type. It changes the shape of the letters by making by increasing the size of the outside perimeter of the shapes of each letter form, and the inside where there's a counter where there's a stroke on the inside. So again, I don't recommend stroking that's adding an outline to type, and only two typefaces probably max in a piece like this. Okay, those are my recommendations moving forward. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know and I'll be glad to make clarifications. Okay, one final recommendation I want to make based on color is that you've got this starburst behind the hot dog. I'm not real sure green is the best color for food. I would say really, really good colors for food, especially in a situation like this, are blue, red, and yellow. So imagine a red star with a yellow stroke behind this. Of course, you would have to change the color of the background, or even a yellow star with a red stroke. I think it adds more of immediacy and more attention to the area, so it will work as the starburst a little bit better than this green and orange combination. All right, again, as I said before, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Thanks, Rayne.